everyone! I wanted to continue on this week focusing on language and literacy development. So with that, I picked another activity this week called Object Box, Identifying and Matching Letter Sounds. The materials you will need for this activity are a container. It can be a shoebox, a basket, or even a bag. Objects or toys that begin with the same letter sound in your home. So it's going to be kind of like a little scavenger hunt with you and your child. A marker, and sheets of paper, and tape is optional as well. And maybe you even want to incorporate an alphabet book with pictures to kind of look over some of the letters in the alphabet to choose a letter. So, to get started, you're going to sit down with your child and ask your child to choose a letter. Help your child write the letter on the container, or you can help your child write the letter on a piece of paper and tape it to the container. So for instance, I used a piece of paper and wrote my letter on the paper and taped it to the shoebox container. So you can then start by practicing to make letter sounds together. So whatever letter your child chooses, encourage your child to think of the objects that start with the sound. You guys can then sit down and make a list of the objects together. For example, I chose the letter P and the letter A. So for P, I thought of some items that I had in my house and I made a list off of some of those items. So I picked pencil, plate, plum. And for A, I chose apple, avocado, and an apron. So once you make your list, you can then even talk about the letter sounds and make some of the letter sounds together. So if your child chose the letter A, you can talk about the A sound. So A for apple, A, avocado, or P for P, pencil. So just enunciating some of those sounds with the letters that your child chooses, and talk about some objects that might be in your home that you guys can go on the hunt for. Once you have talked about letter sounds, made a little list of some objects that you might be able to find in your house, go together through the house and look around to find those objects or toys that start with the letter sound. So, like you see in my video, I found a few things around my home. For A, avocado, apple, apron. For P, I found potato, pencil, a plate, and you can get even creative if your child has any toys. For like a toy airplane, you can put A for airplane. So towards the end, encourage your child to explore the objects. Compare the starting sounds and letters with a different object. So prompt her thinking, does apple sound like plate? No. And you can talk about why. So what's in it for you guys? Language. There's so much language in this activity. So finding objects that start with the same letter helps with letter recognition. Children begin to identify a specific sound with an individual letter when they match objects to letters. And then that symbolic representation is the ability to use an object, thought, or idea, or a symbol in place of something else. So symbolic play helps children understand that letters represent sound. This activity even extends farther than language development. It incorporates all areas. So cognitive, the ability to concentrate influences how children learn. Searching for objects helps them focus on one letter sound. Social emotional, when children take an active role in their own learning, it encourages independence and pride. So praise them when they get so excited, like, I can find the apple, I can find the potato. So let your child take the lead. Motor, children benefit from moving their bodies as they learn. So walking through the house, searching for objects, while also saying the letter sound ties movement to early reading. So you always want to incorporate some sort of a movement and an activity. So once you have gone through your scavenger hunt through the house, compiling all your items, and talking through some stuff, I encourage you to try a book share. So alphabet books, if you have them, are awesome because they encourage children to recognize letters as symbols of the sounds of language. So as you're talking through some of these letter sounds in the activity today, you can tie it in with a book at the end. Let your child choose a letter from the book and practice writing it. So that's another way to extend this activity. Ask him or her to think of more words that sound like the object pictured. So for example, If it's a ball, you can talk about rhyming words, tall, small, wall, or that begin with the same letter. So I want to leave you with one final little tip for the day. So when we think about your child's brain, that phonological awareness is the ability to identify, play with, and combine the sounds of language. So this is actually one of the most common decoding problems in people learning to read. So it's important when we're talking about phonological awareness and beginning to read and things like that, your child practices it when he or she hears the spoken sounds of letters and identifies the sounds with objects. So this activity is going to really help with that phonological awareness and that early reading. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun actually making it. I really miss seeing everyone, and I hope everyone's doing well. Have a great week.